Yo, what's good, team? Your boy J3 is back in the building with another episode of Retro Rewind.
Oh, yeah.
And I got my boy next to me right here.
Rolling Shogun, Ninja Assassin.
What's up, dog?
Man? I'm chilling, man.
We got another episode, G.
More movie talk, man. Yes.
And this is one of those unique horror movies right now.
Very unique and history with a twist to it.
Bruh.
Some fiction on top. I'm with it, you know.
When I started doing YouTube, this is one of the movies that I wanted to review because I had such a positive look on it.
Okay.
At the same time, negative.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved reviewing this when it first dropped. But we got to do it now.
Got to. It was a very interesting time when it came out, though. But it was kind of different because, you know, it does address stuff that happened, but then you got this other fun fantasy part of it. I thought was really unique with it. And then visually, you know.
You ready to get into this?
I'm ready, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about today Abraham Lincoln.
Vampire Hunter.
Woo!
Yeah.
What you know about Abraham Lincoln? You thought you knew Abraham Lincoln till you watched this movie.
I didn't know he was a superhero.
Bruh.
But apparently.
Him and that axe, bruh.
Yeah.
All right. So.
He has hand-to-hand combat skills. He's an axe wielder. And he did the Emancipation Proclamation and took on vampires. Okay. All right.
And his demise was just a shame. Yeah. But anyway. So we'll talk about all that. But we talk about the good and the bad. And then we have fun with these scenes.
All right.
Which you want to go first? Good or bad?
I'm going to do the good, man.
I love asking this first. Just to see where I like to play off of Ronan when you get to good and bad. It's dope. So go ahead. Talk about the good. Oh, here we go.
All right, man. So I like the whole setup as far as young Will Johnson and young Lincoln, how they show different sides being divided by the color and how one was still cool with the other person.
Word. That
was really interesting because you saw who Lincoln was as a youngster and things like that. And you saw Will and his struggle as to, all right, well, there's obviously no equality and things like that. So you saw the rage in him then. And then that transition as he got older. He's like, I'm tired of this. I understand that I have certain rights, but I want to do something.
Right.
Because he couldn't look the other way. He just could not fathom that. And I thought that was tight for this fantasy movie. Yeah. So he took that with him as he grew up. And through the whole movie, it's just him fighting to help everybody else. Not only just his own, but for everybody.
That's deep.
Yeah. So I thought that was a cool little setup for this type of adventure fantasy movie to really address that. I'm
going to be more on a viewing fanboy right now on that. And I think one of the best part of this whole movie for me, because I love history.
Yeah.
I love history and just seeing the way the script was created, where they took actual factual situations and incorporated vampires.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. Like, wow. The whole thing with his mom dying, like, yeah, she died he was young. Like, yo. Right. But by vampires?
Right.
Okay. He started hunting vampires at the same time, running to be president. Okay, his son died.
Learned the mythos and everything.
Like, just the whole idea of it was just phenomenal. Like, I think Anthony Mackie played Frederick Douglass. I think he was Frederick Douglass.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a Frederick Douglass character. And it was just crazy because when you see the way they incorporated the darkness of it with actual history, like, if you was a kid in school and you had to do a report about Abraham Lincoln, if I told you just take the vampires out, you'd probably get a B on your report. Just take the vampires out, you're good.
Yeah.
I love that about the script.
That's almost like extra credit detail in a sense. I get you.
It felt real because it slightly was real.
Yes.
Like, I say it was 75% real, 25% fictional.
Like, you obviously would question, but when you're watching, you're like, wait, did we miss something in the textbooks?
Exactly.
Like, you start buying into it.
Yes.
They had the realness in there, but the fantasy complemented it so well. Because they didn't touch none of the stuff that actually went down. The Emancipation Proclamation, the free slaves.
They kept everything
They
kept
all
that.
Even added to
even the Civil War.
Right. The Revolutionary. They kept all that there.
Like the North is losing against the South.
Yeah.
This happens.
That was pretty brilliant. Yeah. That was.
So why did they lose? Vampires.
Right. It just makes simple inside of it. Yeah.
I love the script, man.
It's the simplicity to the core. And then when he was learning how to. This is also another good when he was learning how to become a hunter.
Yeah.
And the other vampire hunter came into his life and was explaining to him that, you know, sometimes you gotta break the oath but this is what it's gonna be. You know, if you're gonna go all the way, go all the way. And then he started getting all the silver he could find. You know, they start collecting. He got him a job. You know, he got really connected with his friend.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it was stage 2 all over again. He basically said, you know what, this is what it's gonna be. We needed all the silver we can get. I want to learn how to be a vampire hunter. And he was telling him that, bring that rage from within. I thought that was tight. He cut his first tree down for the first time, and I was like, okay, he got OP power.
That was like Batman when he kicked that tree. Yeah. First comic book Batman, shattering tree.
What do you not hate? Well, I hate that my mother was strike down. Oh yeah, we'll use it.
And he got that.
Yeah.
Got that power, bro.
So
his first mission felt like Batman's first mission.
Yeah.
You know, he fumbled a little bit, you know what I mean? Vampire got to jump on your boy, you know what I mean? But he kept it moving.
That was cool.
Another thing that I liked, and it's the actors. I think they chose a very creative squad. You know, Benjamin Walker is Abraham Lincoln. Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Winstead. She played Ramona.
Mary Todd. Yeah.
Ramona off
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
She was good too.
And you know, Dominic Cooper as Henry as a vampire. Yeah. Jimmy Simpson as his friend. Anthony Mackie as his other friend. You
Will
know,
Johnson.
Yeah, and it was a unique squad because no actor, and this is rare that you see in movies like this, because granted this movie wasn't like a box office, you know,
not at all,
but
more cult following.
Yeah, it was just more like you seen a lot of actors that have potential to be the man, but they allowed each other to work together. It was a great boy band, girl band idea. These actors, no one triumphed over anybody.
Right.
We understood who Abraham Lincoln was, but we saw the power of each character, and they made the story come true. Like that's what made it feel so real. You know, Mary was she was his wife, and Henry was the vampire, and it brought the. It's rare to see that, especially for like a horror movie, horror thriller, fantasy. It's rare to see great acting, great storytelling. You know what I mean?
And all characters that add something.
Exactly.
Best friend, family, mentor, loving wife.
All
working, trying to get the same thing.
Dope.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that about this movie. Like, seeing Anthony Mackie, I laughed. I was like, this food. And it's like, when I watched it, it was like, oh, that's how he learned how to shoot like Falcon. He was doing the same moves. He's doing the same moves.
Yeah.
Okay, so you took that into Avengers. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Captain America movie. Okay, I got you. But I just love the whole dynamics of it. And it really, like I said, it felt so real. Yeah. Like, not like real, like, oh, this is really happening. It felt like a true story. And
I didn't question it.
Yeah, it was very creative. Yeah. Like, yo, vampires did this shit.
It's just so ironic that when you go back to that, every time they went to a different scene or a different setting, like whether it was like, you know, just regular United States or they went to another country or a different state, it kept showing how things had gotten worse, but how these people had gotten better at what they were trying to do.
Yes.
Because they were learning as to what was going on in different parts of the states. They're like, well, we got to make changes here. And then you start seeing like other people get attacked even more. So you see Abraham Lincoln fighting even harder. He's like, all right, well, I'm a hunter now. I'm just definitely going to take it to the congressman. We're going to do this. So and then he met his girl. And then once he met Mary Todd, he's like, all right, I know I'm going to have a family now. Now I got to train them and I got to explain to them what's going on so that I don't want to hide anything.
Yeah.
So
and
it was
retired.
Deep. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That it was really dope how they put everything together. Another like that I have about this movie, the vampires were ruthless.
Yo,
you rarely see that, and we're talking about not modern day vampires.
No,
we're talking about 1800 vampires
on a historic factor,
and living day to day lives, but on some ruthless, I will kill you, eat you. Like the dude that was in the room with his first mission.
Yeah,
that fool had people bleeding, drying their blood. He run a business of blood.
Right.
Like, yo, you have your own blood bank. Like, what's going on? Like that. It was just
right underneath where he was working.
Yeah, like, yo, hey, how you doing? Want some bread? Downstairs eating foods. Like, it was really dark, and the vampires and their squad and how they orchestrated things was very respectful and intelligent at the same time, because it makes you look at it how you have these secret societies out there, and
they were hidden.
The movie takes it to another level. Like, yo, like you hear all this stuff about these secret societies, these cults and all that stuff like that, and you see vampires living it in the 1800s. Like, yo, that's what makes it feel like it's based on a true story to a degree. Like, the writer was like really on something. Like, yo, I'm gonna make this feel like this is 100% real, even though it's a horror thriller. and it's Abraham Lincoln vampire hunting.
Right.
But what if he really was a vampire hunter?
That's true.
It really kept it going. I like that. That's all I kind of got though. Everything else I'm gonna be want to talk about the scenes though.
Oh yeah, and then another cool scene was I liked when Ben and Will Johnson reunited, and he said we got a bigger purpose and things like that. So you start to learn that he was inspired by his friend Abraham to kind of pick up and fill in the shoes where he left off. And I thought that was pretty epic though, because it kind of gave like a Batman and Robin moment.
Yeah.
Will was putting in work after Abraham left, and it caught up with him.
Even
so he's like, "Oh, you going to school to be a lawyer and stuff now? I'm gonna need your help. 'Cause I'm about to do some bad stuff over here."
I'll even one up you, more like a Captain Bucky.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
For real.
Or Captain Falcon.
So I love the whole brotherhood relationship to him, man, because everything was like a respect and an honor.
Yeah.
And there was no, "Oh, I'm better than you," and just like they needed each other. And when he saw that he came back, he was like, "That's good, because we're about to get in a lot of trouble."
Yes.
And he's like, "I'm going to school for this," and things like that. And the fact that they were locked up together, because he kept that same mentality when they were kids.
Yeah.
If we all together, we all slaves. Like,
yeah, we gotta make it better.
Yeah. And Mary Todd came in, and she believed in his friend Will Johnson too, saying like, we got to fight for you, and all these things. So you see them alliancing as a team already before the vampire hunting even started. Like, I thought that was cool. And then you see the vampires putting together their squads and their cults and allegiances, like you had said. And again, what was different and unique about these vampires was they were on more of a agility, kind of like skill set factor. Like, they actually had skills, because I never had seen
and everything
vampires fight to that degree, to where it was almost like humanness.
I love the fact that a vampire can't kill a vampire.
Right.
I thought that was dope, especially the one that made you a vampire.
Right. Like, humans can only destroy the dead.
Yeah. The dead can't kill.
I love that whole monologue. That was tight.
That was dope. That's all.
They can't kill their own kind.
What you got as far as, is that all you got for what you like?
For now, yeah.
For now. Yeah. All right. So, what didn't you like about the movie? Because it is one of those fantasy, horror movies. Got a lot of bad as far as good though, for the most part.
I will say, because of the horror factors, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I would have liked to have seen from the point of view of the vampires.
Wow.
Just a little.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. Because I felt like, because of the time period, what was really kind of their... I mean, obviously we know they wanted to take over the world and things like that, but what were they building, and what was the cult, the reason behind that? What was the reason of keeping them around? Because
they kept them in the shadows, no pun intended.
And so at some point, they were going to become extinct. But what was the reasoning of kind of keeping them around and having them migrating in different cults? Like, what were they after? And I just felt like following them, it would have been more of a horror movie, because what we got was more of an action fantasy, and it dives into horror due to the killings and the fatalities.
Yeah.
But following them as Abraham is doing his thing and trying to put things together and orchestrating peacefulness and all that, that would have been very interesting, because now you're giving a yin and yang to this fantasy fairy tale. But if we were just following the vampires, that'd have been a completely different movie.
I don't know if I will like it that much, but I see where you're coming from with that. One of the things I hated about this movie, and I mean hated about it, it wasn't the actor Jimmy Simpson.
Okay.
It was the character he played, Joshua Speed.
Yeah.
Speedy. He was so infatuated with Abraham Lincoln, but then when Will came in, he had that, do I trust this guy?
Right.
And I hated the fact that the movie drug on from young youth, from them being young to them being old. And I just never could put my finger on it. I hate movies that cause a character to you. I basically don't like movies to be one up on me. I hated that, because I didn't know what Speed would do. Speedy, I didn't know if he was for Abraham Lincoln. Was he working with vampire? I didn't know. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it to the very end.
Okay.
And I hated that, because when he saw Will, he kind of had that, which I like. They still had that racism still existing.
Right.
Right? So even though you're up north, white people and stuff like that at times still wasn't just as fun as black people walking around. They just didn't care. Right. They believed in whatever, just keep your distance, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't like the fact that he always had his eyebrow up to Speed, to Will.
Right.
It was like, I don't know if I should trust this.
When there's other bigger things happening.
Nagger.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't I didn't like that. I hated it as fact because it was like, yo, like you all three y'all working side by side. It's like you're scheming this whole time. And then when you finally see the end, you're like, oh, bruh, did you do that? Did you turn on him like that?
Yeah.
So you had this all planned and stuff, but then you see it was a with the twist.
Yeah.
It was like, damn, you know what I mean? But I just hate the fact that
twist was kind of forced though too.
Yeah. It became obvious.
And this goes back into what I was saying. I felt like that would have worked better if we were following the vampires. Then you would have had a better understanding because now it makes him look like even worse of a man as a bad guy. Because Abraham trusted you. But it makes sense also for him to not know. Because again, like you said, no pun intended, they were in the shadows. So he kept that part of him, a secret, because if he revealed it then, he would not have joined him and went on that force with him.
Yeah.
And he knew he wouldn't have taken on that oath and legacy of being a vampire hunter like he wanted him to be. And that's why he trained him. So he kept that part of his life of a secret. See, it would have been two different movies if two different outcomes had happened due to how it was revealed.
Yeah.
So it's very different.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the. I mean, granted, the ending was obviously going to happen. Like, that's the whole point. Like, I thought it should have went to a different ending. You know what I mean? Like, granted, yeah, you're gonna play this thing, but it kind of really sucks because it's like, who shot Abraham Lincoln?
Right.
Was it a vampire?
That's what I was expecting to see.
Because
I'm already on board with him being a vampire hunter.
It should have just went on now. Presidents as vampire hunters, like President Obama. That would have been dope. Like, and then
zombie slayers.
Yeah, right. And then the vampires get smart, and then now Donald Trump's the president, and he's low key the vampire. Man, bruh, what are we doing?
Flash forward 600 years later.
You know what I'm saying? How do you attack the president if he's a vampire and you're a vampire slayer, but the president's a vampire?
Wow.
You know
poison the Democrats and the Republicans.
Exactly, right? So you have President Obama, who's a vampire hunter, and then he gets knocked off, and then right when the president becomes president, the new president, President 45, Donald Trump, and then he gets bit by a vampire. Now the president is a vampire.
You kill the politics in the past so that it stays demise all the way into the future. Wow.
That would have been really dope to show, the vampire hunter.
That would have been tight.
Get killed, because at the time President Obama was the president.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind seeing a President Obama, the vampire hunter.
If you're into it at this point, you can follow and believe that, and just expand on it. And
it could really went somewhere.
Have fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it because we can kind of tell as history repeats itself that it's just a gray area. There really is no right or wrong. It's just politics is cutthroat.
Yeah.
And so was the killer vampires and history itself. Like, the history was bent on war and racism. Like, so if you were to kind of flip that and again throw that stuff in there, like you said, I think it would have added something, because in actuality it does make sense. Mm-hmm. It's just the fantasy part that drives it and makes it more interesting, because it's like, what if?
What if?
It's a what if. And that's cool.
And I just hated that ending, because the ending just left it like, okay, we know you get shot in the head.
Instead of just giving an answer.
But he had enemies.
Right.
Them enemies, that would have been great. The enemy was a vampire that came out the shadows, shot him in the head, bam.
That would have been dope.
The Vampire Hunters Reborn, President Obama. You know what I'm saying?
And it also kind of sets up
Michelle's his Giles off of Buffy.
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of, like you said, it goes into the next part of repeating history. Like, this could have been the beginning of something new. Like, this could have been a whole out war for like the next person running in office. Because
some of those people that run for office be looking dead.
Yeah.
Like, they look like one president had like false teeth, and they were like brownish, like old tree bark. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some of these cats be looking old and they be, dirty looking. I don't know, but anyway, that's what I didn't like. I didn't like the ending, man. But for the most part, I think I'm kind of chill on it.
Oh yeah.
What else you didn't like?
Also, I just think that, with Abraham being the 16th president of the United States, you have to somehow kind of wonder and ask the question.
He waved that knowledge around. Y'all saw that, right?
What went on after? What went on after?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it. That's really the only thing, because I really do see a sequel could have happened.
There's not one.
There could have been a series off of that.
There's not one of those soldiers did not see them vampires coming.
Yeah.
That was a story that be told. Man, them vampires out there, bro. We got to go after them.
I don't believe for a second that they were all wiped out at the end of this movie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No possible way.
Because Buffy came with Giles
just beginning.
And shit, man.
Yeah. They were ready this time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if this is a dislike or
the
just,
only difference now is that they had leadership this time. Somebody to follow and
they
fight
had a leader.
with.
They had, and so did the humans.
Right.
So it was kind of like a war. It was a war.
Yeah.
Civil War.
And see, with the sequel coming in, now you can do 2 separate subplots.
Yeah.
Still be whoever's coming next in office. Now you can follow the vampires. Because now there's a cult, and now there's a history. Now there's a following. Because they're like, oh, you know what? At this point, we got taken down by Abraham. You guys. But now we came back stronger than ever.
And I think that's just something that we want. I mean, I think they could come back with it again. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is a hate or like, I don't know. I just thought that with the time setting was very valuable to just drop a couple 100,000 to show the vampires trying to recruit other vampires to fight this war.
Yeah.
Right? And they run into Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise and interview with a vampire, which is the same time frame.
I'm with it.
And he's like, I'm not fighting your war. Oh! Fan favorite! Oh! You're killing me, bro.
And see, these guys are...
I would have blew up.
I guess you could say, yeah, extinct. Yeah, they're part of it. They're invincible. Because they just don't age, but they've been around for centuries. So that would be like unique in his favor.
Because it didn't link all the worlds together.
Yeah.
Like all the vampires, like, yo, because the interview the vampires around the same time.
Yeah, and Silver won't hurt these guys. They're kind of like Blade in a sense. They can walk in the sun and do all this. Like they're a different breed.
There was a different breed of vampires.
Yeah.
Sure was. But because they were fighting in the sun.
Right. That would be a heck of a movie. Wow.
Man. Scratch that interview vampire. They're a different breed. But no, that would make sense. Like there's different breeds of vampire.
Right.
Like
and
on,
it makes sense
like on Blade. Yeah, you make perfect sense. So you guys got the taste of what we didn't like and what we do like about the movie. Let's talk about these scenes, bro.
Oh yeah.
Let's go back into Monday morning in school outside.
A wise man once said, "Always have a consistency plan." I love that line.
That's dope, right?
That was tight.
Henry was tight, man.
Yeah, he was.
I love the whole beginning of it when you was talking about it when Abraham Lincoln was a child and he saw Will about to get, towed up by this man.
Yeah.
And his dad was in so much fear of this, of being casted out and all this stuff. But Abraham Lincoln as a child was like, freak that, I'm going.
Ruthless,
and his dad had to come in and save him.
Yeah.
And then Will never forgot it. They always were friends.
A family of fighters, man. Yeah.
That was freaking dope because that's what.
And that love of friendship. When you got that fighting instinct and you see something's not right and you willing to die for it, hey, that counts for something.
The acting is so beautiful in that because even with Anthony Mackie and Benjamin Walker, you never saw a division between those two.
Yeah.
For all they knew was their eyes were brown. Like, that was beautiful to me. I love that in the scenes because every time I see Anthony Mackie, Papa Doc, 8 Mile, in Benjamin, it was really dope because you can tell that race didn't matter.
Right.
Even though in the movie it does.
Oh yeah, it does.
But their friendship was, we are the same color. We're red. We both bleed. I love movies like that.
Yeah.
When you incorporate that. Even Mary came into place. She never had that resentfulness. She never was uncomfortable. Yo, like his son called him Uncle Will. You know what I mean? Like it was like there was racism, but in that home,
right,
there was never no racism.
Right.
And Abraham Lincoln made sure his boy was always there, right next to him.
Right.
Even running for president,
yeah.
Which makes me look at it like damn, he won with a black man next to him.
Right.
White people didn't even care at that time. It's like, yo, man, I like what he talking about.
Yeah.
I ain't really fond on them brothers, but if he can befriend one, then maybe there's gonna be all right.
Maybe there's hope.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's fantasy, but
All right.
I love the fact that
I like how they did it.
Yeah.
I like how they
that was very
directed
beautiful.
it and put it in the movie. Yeah.
What you got, G?
I like the action in this movie. Very visual. You can see definitely Tim Burton style in here. Like even though he's producer, the guys that did this worked on Wanted.
Okay.
So very visual, slow mo's, very
guns.
effective. Yeah. Very visual, very effective, man. Like I like how the action shows the emotion of the characters.
Yeah.
The rage and comes from power. The emotions comes from power, and they really show that when people are in action. I like this cool with the gun plays. the vampires having hand-to-hand fight scenes, that was kind of new to me.
Dude.
I was like, whoa.
Henry F that motherfucker up, bro. Uppercut.
Yeah, they can eat and they can punch and kick and they have powers on top of it.
They had slaves, bro.
Yeah.
The vampires were that action was fire.
The action was great.
That's the whole point of this movie. Like, I'm be honest, we try to go around it to give it some more substance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, this is action.
My finger was in some soup.
Yeah.
I was just going around looking at the letters.
Because there's other good stuff in here too.
But
the visuals is really the selling point.
That sheet was fire, bro.
Tim Burton and his team, man, they really outdid themselves.
I was like, Abraham Lincoln is putting in work, and the vampires were not giving up.
And they gave him that Abraham Lincoln moment that we all know he had. The Charlie Chaplin had walked in with the suit and the cane and went out and did his hunting, man. Like it was like you said, a Batman moment.
Ties things up.
Yeah,
he was coming
epic.
And how Henry had a list of all the vampires. Like, yo, you want to catch this fool right here? This is what time he gonna be there. Henry was so cold because when I obviously when I saw him, I was like, he's probably a vampire.
He's the Sherlock of the group.
Yeah,
basically.
I was like, yo. Yeah. But it's funny you say that because this movie has a lot of Sherlock Holmes in it.
Oh yeah.
The fight scenes and how they were set up were so Sherlock Holmes.
They were precise.
It was like, if I turn left to the right, he's gonna come. I'm like, yo, he's swinging his axe like, and then he had like the gun in it and stuff. Like in the vampires, you couldn't just kill him.
Right.
It wasn't like Buffy, like just stake to the heart. Nah, bro, you gotta end this fool.
They had to modify their weapons, and I love how they used silver in a way where they were using like on a rifle or like a semi-handgun. He would have knives on the end of his rifles and stuff because he's like, if I run out, I gotta be able to still stab him or cut him some kind of way. And it was always silver. There was a detail in everything they did with their attacks.
But what made it really, what I liked about it, but I was like, this is whack. And I'll tell you this, it's and I didn't want to say it because I know it's gonna debunk us and don't like.
Oh, okay.
But when Abraham Lincoln went against the guy, he went to kill the guy that killed his mom.
Okay.
Right? And he shot and missed. And I'm watching this fool reload.
I hate the reloading. Yeah, that gunpowder.
Hurry up, catch and eat this fool. Don't you use that super speed?
Right.
Get this nigga, man.
Right. Get him. It's over.
Man, that pissed me off.
I hate the reloading. That's the one thing I can't.
I was like, oh, these vampires are weak, bro.
The 1700s and stuff. Yeah, that.
It made the vampires look trash.
Because you could have got him. You could have got him.
And then they didn't even really have bullets. They had round circle bullets.
Yeah. Well, they had to custom make them for these ones, so I kind of get that.
But he shot him in the eye. He didn't even die.
He didn't die, yeah. So I don't know how to explain that one because it was silver. I remember it.
Yeah.
It was silver. That should have been done after that.
They never really put a take on the stake in the heart. They kind of was
there's
like
there's no like level to it. Like they're all the same.
Yeah.
So it should have did some type of damage, something.
Yeah,
that was the whole point of collecting it.
I didn't like that, man. That reload stuff, man. He was like, pow, pow.
Same thing as Sleepy Hollow, the gunpowder. Yeah.
I'm like, ah.
That's whatever. I'd rather you just go hand to hand or use spears and knives or daggers or something. You was putting in work with that axe though.
Yeah, and it's like the way they wrote it though for the action scene was like Abraham Lincoln's going to lose his axe.
Got it.
He's gonna drop his axe. Nah, his fool. That axe was his leg. That was his third leg.
His life. Yeah,
he wasn't gonna lose that like that.
Yeah, not from what we saw in the beginning in the first and second.
And he was tall.
That thing was his.
We talking about Abraham Lincoln's what 6'3"?
Yeah,
6'4", something like that. Whooping ass. Sign me up. It was. I ain't gonna lie. I had a great time watching the action scene, man. Just seeing everybody putting their work, man. When Speedy tricked the vampires.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot. There you go.
Oh man.
And his wife was behind it.
Yeah.
Bro, when she went after the vampire chick, they killed her son.
How they showed how he got caught up in the mix and how they turned him and casted him out in the daylight. That was nice to see because you saw that frustration and why he wanted to live and kind of continue through what Abraham Lincoln was doing. It was his way for him to get back the vengeance that he couldn't. Because he felt like, a piece of him was already gone when he lost his wife.
She went down the Underground Railroad, bro.
Yeah.
And came out with the weapons.
Yep.
Abraham Lincoln's wife is probably the best wife on any movie. I ain't lying because we got Gemma's, Peggy, Skylar.
Mary Todd was cool.
All these wives that husband are big in some form of fashion and they bring them down. She was the only, and maybe I'm just, because it's the most recent I've seen.
Yeah.
But Abraham Lincoln's wife was a ride to die chick.
Oh yeah.
In a positive way.
Yeah.
She had his back. And when she got the vampire that killed her son, she was like, no, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. It was on and popping, bro.
Yep.
On and popping. I love that.
She didn't wait for Abraham. She took him out.
She took the vampire out. She was like, you
what
killed my son.
Yeah, she knew.
She killed the little boy.
Yeah.
He went into fever and everything.
That was epic.
Whoo! I love that. Man, action scenes, man.
Yeah, the action was really fire.
They had a train chase, man, with vampires, bro.
Yeah, that was
a locomotive.
With the backdraft fire going on. They trying to stop the bridge from collapsing and all that. That was crazy.
Bruh, they got wheels, bro. The trip, man.
They did the tag team Avengers setup. He had his back to back armor
Bro,
2 shit.
Henry came like Cap, bro, with the train, bro. He's with the train. I was like, I got this.
That was hot.
Henry lived. I loved it, man. It was like everybody lived, everybody survived that needed to. Speed died.
Yeah.
But it was a great death for him.
It was necessary. Yeah.
Because Abraham Lincoln, I think Abraham didn't know. But Mary told Speedy. And them two knew.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm mad, because I wasn't one step ahead. I didn't figure that out. I didn't think watching it. Well, obviously we watched it again, but first time watching, I didn't think that she would. I thought she would have been so devastated by the death of her son that she would have been out of it.
Yeah.
Because most women do that in film.
Yeah.
It's a very unpredictable movie when it comes to a lot of these characters, and I really dug that.
Tragedy,
but I hated it at the same time.
Tragedy does bring strength to a degree. It's all about how you use it. So, and we talked about this, like, people handle loss differently. There's a weakness that comes with it, but there's a strength that comes with it because you remember what you had.
Oh my God! I just thought of something.
Yeah.
So, if Abraham Lincoln he dies, and end up being Obama, right? What if Will was Obama's like great uncle or something, and he's been training the whole time these catching vampires, and then Obama comes in office as a vampire hunter also, but it's all tied to Abraham Lincoln and Will, because Will learned from Abraham, and Will kept the journey going on after Abraham died.
And they knew all about the conspiracies that was going on as they were being set
Yeah,
up.
but what I'm saying is Obama is black.
Okay.
So
this would be the reasoning for it.
It'll explain why Obama would know how to do it.
Okay.
Because his great uncle was Will, who been teaching the kids and the families and stuff for vampire hunting.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah, they could have got on that. Yeah, I would have watched that. It probably would have been trash, but I would have watched it. What's his name? Rufus Sewell. He played that old vampire.
Yeah,
he was cool. He was
interesting.
A little over the top for most part, but he was good.
He didn't have much to do, but yeah, he was kind of like the humorous part for me.
I thought
he was very satire for sure. I agree. Yeah, he overplayed it, but he was good though.
It was a little off balance with a lot of the scenes as far as vampires, but it's just crazy like seeing it like the vampires were slave owners. They had shops.
That was rough.
they was up north, up south, east, west. They was everywhere, and they were colonizing themselves, and they were killing people at the same time. Like the vampires were ruthless, but then respectfully ruthless. Like they understood the value. They was like, yo, we can't just kill everything because then we won't have nothing to eat tomorrow. Kind of like that vampire movie we watched with what's his name? Is it Ethan Hawkins? Daybreakers.
Yeah.
You know how they like they kill and then they start mutating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this movie, man. You guys,
this one's fun, man.
It was very fun.
I think I hit all my points.
Well, with that said,
it was great to revisit though. I didn't think it was a good choice picking this.
Man, you know, I
gotta
gotta review this one. You know what I mean? With that said, yo, let's give it a grade, man. What do you give Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Not Lincoln and Steven Spielberg, but they came out like the same time, didn't they?
Yeah, actually, I think so. Maybe a year apart, maybe.
It feels like it was like the next day.
It's crazy.
But what you give this movie?
For the funness and cheesiness and absurdity, I give it a B.
I second that. Yeah. It was a great B action, vampire, blood. It wasn't even too. It was gory, but it wasn't out of the place gory. I really enjoyed it for what it is. Like, granted, it's not the best when it comes to like Dracula or Interview with a Vampire.
Of course not.
It's not as good as those vampire movies, but it was so fun. The Tim Burton style of it, the Sleepy Hollow vibes of it. You know what I mean? The vampires coming in, but you still got that Batman style to them. You know, you had a lot of mytho characters that Abraham Lincoln embodied in this movie, and I really freaking dug it, man. This is a great retro rewind movie to go watch, man. I say, if you ain't seen it, watch that movie. I'm telling you, if you like vampire movies, you like action, you like ass whoopings, you like Falcon, Go watch this
Visual
movie,
aesthetics,
man.
Yeah,
they had
definitely gotta
a
check this one out.
locomotive. They were fighting vampires on top of the locomotive.
Epic.
Like, what kind of shit? This is Abraham Lincoln.
And powers are on display. So if you like powers and stuff like that with history, oh yeah, you're gonna love this.
Like, it's kind of like, how does he beat? Like, usually you see vampires, they never really display their powers.
Yeah.
They just bite you.
That's why I love. That was a good detail.
Yeah. We go
They
talk
can
about
fight
yeah.
Man, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so I know people may be new to this filmmaker, but he's kind of been around. He's got some other vampire movies that he did too.
Okay.
They're Night Watch and Day Watch. They were subtitled foreign films. They're really good. And then his only commercial movie was probably this and I Want It from 2008. But he's got a very good visual eye.
We got a retro one too, man. I got a lot to talk about that.
So Timur Bekmambetov, I think is his name, because he's got like a Russian name to it. Hope I didn't butcher it, but check out his other stuff too. Like, if you like this, you'll definitely like his other movies.
It was really good, especially for a director that's not even from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he spot on with the history. The script was dope. Acting was very fun, very good. Great actors to pick. They
Martin took him under his wing, man. Produced it.
Yeah.
I like that partnership because you can see both styles.
I'm ready for something else like this. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know.
Man, Martin Luther King, Zombie Slayer.
You feel?
Man, let's get it.
Malcolm X, bro. I'm with it, bro.
Yeah.
Malcolm X in the Silver Bullet, going after werewolves and shit, bro. I'm with it. Malcolm X going after werewolves,
slaying werewolves in Mississippi.
You know what I'm saying? He comes back from
by any means necessary. Give me that silver.
He out there laying, and it makes sense. Like, okay, so Malcolm X really wasn't going. He was actually killing werewolves.
Denzel Washington, bring him back.
I'm with
bring
it,
him
man.
back.
I'm with it, bro.
Oh man,
I am with it. Malcolm X, the werewolf slayer. I am with it.
Denzel come at the left. You thought you was safe, huh?
Like on Book of Eli stuff,
Yo.
bro.
Oh, let's go. I'm with it.
I'm with it. Oh, it gets even better than that.
We gotta get the Hughes brothers to direct it,
bro. It's even better than that.
Is that in the same universe? Maybe. Okay, because he was blind at that time.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Morpheus or Furious Styles?
Furious.
Okay.
Lawrence Fishburne, Furious, and the Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yo, let's do it.
I'm gonna drown this motherfucker in that water. I'm gonna choke him out. I'm gonna get this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you better watch what I'm doing, Trey. You can learn something.
You feel me?
There's monsters out there, and I don't want to lose you to
I don't want to lose you to them bullshit. Freaking Cuban Gooding, like, Dad, I'm gonna do it. Get eaten.
Oh my God! Now you're gonna do Black Hood Monster Squad now,
bruh. It's down. I'm down.
Dope
I'm down.
Boy, everybody, bro.
Get old boy, Snoop Dogg, Bones. What is it? Fucking Leprechaun in the Hood, bro. I'm with it.
Something's happening right now.
I'm with it, man. Hey,
you're welcome.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with it. We know the movie's gonna be bad.
Yeah,
but they're gonna be fun to watch.
It's gonna be entertainment to the T.
Bro, can you imagine Denzel Washington and Jack Nicholson?
Oh man,
Jack Nicholson was the wolf.
He was.
And Denzel Washington been looking for this old wolf for a long time, and he finally found him.
Denzel and Nicholson face off. I'm with it. That's money right
and
there.
And Denzel Washington in the Magnificent Seven settings.
I'm with it.
A Western werewolf movie.
I'm with it.
Ooh.
I think we're about
Native Americans telling about.
We're about to actually get one though too though, so you're not too far off.
Oh my gosh, man!
This is crazy.
What else? Tom Hanks and the Bigfoot. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Castaway.
Have you seen the Wilson? Bruh, I'm with it, man.
Wilson returns.
In a world, Tom Hanks lost on an island with Bigfoot.
Finally.
All right, we're going too far, but anyway, I had a good time with this, man. Shout out to you for showing up for the Retro Rewind. We took a trip down memory lane.
Yes, sir.
Have fun with this movie. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and push that subscribe button. Thumbs this video. Do not forget to share. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yep.
I'm J3.
On the Shogun Ninja Assassin.
We out.